So everyone know about stress, huh? So how do we deal with it? With an audience, they have three questions when someone's talking or when there's some new information. And that's what they call the audience, excuse me, the audience mindset. And the very first question is, even when you know it's about stress, is actually, what is that? What's it really about? Then there's the next question. This is probably the most important one, because you might say, well, I handle stress okay. And then I would say, well, actually, how are we handling it really? So I said to an accountant, not one of the female accountants here, so an accountant I was coaching at one point, I said, how are you handling your stress? He said, well, the liquid gold seems to work. And then what I found when I was coaching executives in Sydney, I found that they are actually addicted to stress. That was a bit of a revelation to me. I could not get them out of the mindset that it actually can be different. It's like if I'm standing here right now and I have any stress, I'm not a very good example of telling you guys it can be different. So that's the next question. So what? How is it relevant to you? And then the next one is, okay, what do you do with this information? Which is vital, because 4% of people who come to seminars, workshops and stuff, 4% will actually action anything. 4%, that's not much, huh? Now, the other thing is, while I'm talking to you, you'll notice that often I'll go slowly. That's to give you an opportunity to feel what I'm saying. So from my point, you're the focus. I'm not the focus for me, you're the focus. What can I deliver to you in 35 minutes or 40 minutes that's going to actually change your life? And that's my purpose from why I'm here. So what's next is, okay, you're going to know what's next. You're going to work out, these are some techniques and some methods. You can call it stress 101 or stress point 2. It's more stress point 2 because no one knows really, what do they do? Well, some people drink, some people gamble, some people are workaholics. You all know what you do. Some people play games, some people play Scrabble, some people play online words. We all do something. We surf the net. Does any of this make sense, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah? So we all do something to minimise the impact. The problem with the stress is we've forgotten where it comes from. Ah! It's interesting, half the people here, nearly half, when Catherine comes it'll be almost half are women. So firstly I want to acknowledge the women here for a real special reason. Firstly, without women we're not going to be here, but more particularly they have a double difficult job. And their job in the world of business, whether you're married to a business person, whether you're an assistant, whether you're a PA, whether you're a partner, whatever you are, the woman has to enter, up till now, what's been a man's world, even though women are doing big things. And you've got to then operate from your left hemisphere, which means focus, focus, focus like that. So it's quite stressful. And on the other hand, the women have to retain their femininity and their femaleness. Does this make sense? And their softness and their vulnerability, and be in a world of competition when they're in business or helping their partner or whatever. It doesn't matter whether you're the owner, whether you're a team member, whether you're an employee, the woman has an incredibly difficult job. What I've seen over many years is that when the woman gets super powerful, a lot of that femininity and grace has gone. The problem with us men, which woman's brave enough to say, what's the problem with men? Suzanne. Come on, you've always got something to say. In terms of the female vulnerability and the softness, look at that. Come on, she's never lost for words. The main issue with men...
Suzanne, what you say?
I know.
The main issue with men, as far as women are concerned. Christina, come on. We're going to move along here.
I know. Yeah, this could start getting personal now.
No, the thing is... The thing is, we're hardwired to go like that. Guys, we're hardwired to do it. So our problem is we lose our softness, we lose our femininity, because that's, you know, not done. We lose our grace sometimes, and we lose our relaxation. Now, historically, so this is, I've seen many women like that, lots of my clients. Not lately. But that's how they usually come in at any point of the business, between 1 year, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but round about the 10 or 12 years mark, this is going to happen. Guys, no, they'll go out and get drunk, they'll go to the gym, they'll drive the car too fast, they'll do something stupid. Janae. They'll do something stupid. We guys do stupid stuff, right? Now, the thing is, do you know where it comes from, this whole stress, this whole thing? Where does this come from historically? Okay, we don't know. But we do know, actually. We've probably forgotten. So, the whole stress thing is actually, it's a disease now. It's like it's endemic, it's systemic, it's in the system, it's in our bloodstream. We've got to do something with it, individual by individual. But where it comes from is the fight or flight. Once upon a time, we were either being chased by lions or tigers. We were hunting down animals for our food. All we had to do was provide a nice cave, the womb. You know that our home is the womb. Do any of you know that? It's a search for many people, and the whole of humanity, to go back to the womb where it's safe, relaxed, cosy, everything. So what we all do is we all try to create a safe, beautiful, warm, lovely environment for ourselves. So the men, we provided the cave, right? You did that. Yeah, I did that. We provided the food, we hunted down the animals, so it went. But now it's become more mental, emotional, and physical in a bad way. I don't even need to read that stuff, but basically what you'll see is that's where it comes from. Originally, way back when we were evolving in the different ways that humans have evolved, there were only two alternatives. Good morning, Catherine. Two alternatives were, you either ran like buggery and you escaped the line, or you got eaten. Simple. The problem was over. At what point do you reckon there's going to be much stress there on an ongoing basis? Nothing like business, Grant. Nothing like business, huh? So what happens now, he looks like he's not in great shape, right? So he's going to be eaten. It's going to be over any minute. That's why these days, we go to the gym. But going to the gym is also not enough. Because that's only one component of relaxation. Going to the gym, doing exercise, this stuff, pumping iron, whatever, that's only half the equation. But anyhow, he's not fit enough. He'll get eaten any time now. But what this does now, when we go take this into business and into our life and our busy, busy life, that's a different story all of a sudden. It looks, it looks familiar as well. Not necessarily in a suit carrying a bag, but the time, the clock. You can see, just look at the city and you've already got the impression of what we've all created here. So we're all responsible for it. We can't say it's your fault or your fault. This is the life we live in. And we all seem to be going at breakneck speed, fast, to some goal. I'm not sure where that is, but we call it success. We call it health, we call it wealth, and we call it wisdom, but we call it happy family and success, money in the bank, time to have a holiday, time to buy a new car, stuff like that. Okay, where does it go from there? Well, it goes all sorts of places. Lana and I got a great VA in the Philippines, as most of you know. She comes up with all these incredible images. When I saw that one with the fire, I thought, oh shit, I remember that day. I had farms. I was living on farms and commuting to the city. I had an investment property down the road, and I had a few of my employees living there. One of the guys who I loved dearly, he smoked too much and he drank too much. He did everything too much. And one night, he fell asleep in his mattress and the whole house burnt down. So that was like really inconvenient. Now, but luckily it wasn't my house, it was the investment place, so I got the insurance. It was a nightmare, right? But that, I remember when I saw that image, I thought, okay, that was a sort of a stressful time, the insurance. Then they start saying, well, you got a drunk in the house, and he went to sleep, and all that stuff. So you have all these things, even those images. Maybe you haven't had your car repossessed, you haven't had a house burnt down, but you sort of know the feeling that goes with a stressful life. And each of you now are probably translating back to how, in your life, what's triggering your stress. If you can detect the trigger really fast, you're 80% of the way to being relaxed, generally speaking, wherever you are. Wherever you are. So, what we saw there before with the lion now gets translated into today. I can remember feeling like that once when I'd made the wrong decision, buying a property, and then I realised after I'd exchanged contracts, and I thought, it's like the whole body goes into a certain, I've made the wrong decision. Anyone ever made the wrong decision? Only 2 people? Yeah, great. I've made lots of them. So, now this is the problem. People say, okay, well, why, why, so what about stress? Well, there are a few things. As a leader of your business, as Lana reminded me this morning, as a parent with children, how good an example are you to your children of having a beautiful, relaxed life? Now this is hard because you're in business, so you're getting up early. You come here early. You get up early to come here. There's a lot involved. If you can be a good example, then you're going to leave this legacy to your children. So important. And they're going to leave that legacy to their children, and so it goes, which is probably why we're in such a mess, in case any of you don't think we are. And the problem is, see, we're all doing our best. Our parents did their best, their parents did their best. But I've seen it, not with my current clients, but I've seen it over a long period of time. When the parents are stressed, the ramifications on the children are not nice. Health-wise, they go on Ritalin. Anyone know about Ritalin? Yeah? It's a thing that you put the kids on. Now some of the kids have to go on it, but it's not a drug of preference. It's not a great scenario, right? So if we don't do something about that chronic stress, it's an ongoing thing. It's not, I'll be eaten or I can run away. It goes into the system now. And then what happens is health. So why is it important to handle stress? Why is it important to manage it? Well, for a number of reasons. Good example for the kids. Yeah, great. You can be happy and more relaxed. More importantly, what I've found out is you can make incredibly brilliant decisions that you might otherwise not have made. You can be more creative. You can be more inspirational. You can think out of the box. Sometimes when we're talking to each other, it doesn't matter, anyone can come up with some idea and you didn't think about it. I think Jorge, I said something to him yesterday. He said, yeah, what a great idea. And then he said something to me, and I thought to myself, yeah, what a great idea. It's like we continually giving each other clues and cues. And we need to listen to that. And we don't, generally, we're not great at listening. So if we don't deal with this stress, when would be a good time? Today? Now? If we don't deal with it now, we say, oh, well, great, I'll join the gym next week. Okay, what we're doing is we're putting off, we've got a postponement mentality. We're putting off till tomorrow what we actually need to do something about now. How am I going with it? All right? I feel very much at home with two Indians here. It's like, because I lived in India for a long time, right? So I feel very much at home, which is probably why I'm quite relaxed. India is a place of the heart, and although sometimes they can be challenging, the Indians, they're very hearty people. Probably that's why I stayed so long there. And I learned a lot about how to handle stress, meditation, contemplation, reflection, and what awareness is and what relaxation is. You don't need to go to the Blue Mountains, or you don't need to go to the Himalayas to relax. The ultimate test is here. The ultimate test, I think, is in business. That's I call it the fire test. People say to me, why did I come back into business for? Why did I do all this for? Why am I back, I say, well, that's where the test is. Ros came to India when I was there with her daughter. I threw her into the ocean, didn't I, Ros? And she's very courageous, and she did lots of things that many people will never do. She's learnt. Now I don't actually need to talk to her ever again. She's got all the tools she needs. So whenever she complains to me, I'll just hang up on her. Right, Ros? She's got all the tools now. She's got everything. So that's the thing. If we don't do something about it, we suffer. Health suffers. You get high blood pressure, adrenaline kicks in, that's not great. Cholesterol kicks in, that's not great. Cortisol levels go up. And it becomes chronic. Right, Jeff? Yep. It becomes a chronic thing. We tighten up around the jaws, sometimes we tighten up around the necks. The pelvis, it freezes. There's no fluidity. So the whole thing with this, and I think probably, Chris, I might have sent you stuff over time. I sent you a fair bit of stuff over time. You've got two mindsets. One's a fixed mindset, which is generally how we operate. And in business, if you operate out of a fixed mindset, you've got a ceiling to your business. You will cap it at 500 to 750,000. If you're lucky, you'll get to $1 million. You might cap it at $1 million and cruise along at $1 million, or you might cap it at 1.5 million and cruise at 1.5. But there are what we call the brick walls or the black holes in business. 3 million, 5 million. But the tricky parts are 750,000, 1 million, 1.5. You get past them and you have your systems in place, right? Systems in place to underpin the structure going forward. You have a great team, and then you're invincible. And for me, it was always, I've said it many times, having the great team beats everything hands down. It beats strategy, it beats margins, it beats templates, it beats planning days, everything. Now, how difficult is it to have a great culture? Well, it's not so easy, it takes time. Because the team members have to learn to trust the owner. Rather than the team members thinking, oh, it's all for the owner, we're only doing all this KPIs, we're only doing this because of the owner makes more money. That's not how it works. In fact, usually and often the owner, we all know this, sometimes makes no money and takes home less, and if they take home any money, they'll take home less than the employees a lot of the time. Right or wrong? Don't all answer at once. Right or wrong? Right. How am I going for time? So, moving along. So that's the thing. So, Number one, fixed mindset or growth mindset. Lots of research has been done about that, by the way. You'll make better decisions, you'll make clearer decisions, you'll make less mistakes, you'll pick the right team members, not the wrong team members, you'll make more money. You'll be smart enough to block out holiday time, and if you can't block out a long time, block out 1 day, 2 days, but do it. Take your man away, your woman away, or your dog away. Doesn't matter, just go away for a day or 2 days or something. That's not easy to do because we're programmed, oh, I've got to do something, you know, we know that. Why not go to the Hunter Valley for 2 days? Why not go to the snow for a couple of days? Oh, well, that's not long enough. Yes, it is. Break the cycle, break the circuit. Because if you keep doing the same thing, we know this, you know, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you get the same result. Right? What can we do about it? And that's one thing. I don't recommend that. I recommend yoga, but I don't recommend immediately doing that. And the reason is not because of the crossed legs, because you're sitting on a volcano. You're sitting on, you're sitting on your mind actually. Your mind's anyhow spinning day and night. You go to bed at night. You think you're sleeping at night, or you're dreaming 80% of the time. And all dreaming is thinking while asleep. Now what I'm doing, I'm just thinking while awake. But if you can reduce your thinking, this is a bit tricky here, so I'll say it and then I'll move on. If you can have 50% thinking and 50% awareness, you'll be 50% better off for your relaxation. If you have 80% thinking and 20% awareness, I'm going to get to that in a minute of what actually awareness is. You'll have 80% thinking, you're going to be a mess. Now most people are running at 80 to 100% thinking. They think when they go to sleep at night they can relax. No, they're just dreaming. They wake up tired. Oh, I had a shitty sleep last night. Yeah, you're dreaming probably 80% of the night. They've done all these tests, by the way. They're rapid eye movement tests, and they work out how much dreaming you're doing in that time. So, no, I don't recommend that to start with. I recommend this as a beginning because you can do it right now. As I'm talking to you, I'm watching my body movements. So I'm watching what I'm doing. I'm watching that I'm breathing at the belly. And I'm seeing that there actually aren't any thoughts going. Why is that? Because I've got my awareness on hopefully delivering to you something valuable that's going to change your life, in a meaningful way. So I'm not thinking, what am I going to say next, obviously. I don't need to read the cues. I mean, this is my subject. My job or my challenge is to try and deliver to you as much effectively, communicate it so that in a practical way. So I can give you some tips that probably many people will never know in a lifetime because I've spent a lifetime studying it and doing it. When you think of you're in a situation, talking to someone, you're in business, someone's screwing you down on price, they're doing this, someone's insulting you, someone's whatever, complimenting you, doesn't matter. Just be like that wise owl. There's a part of you separate. So right now there's a part of me separate because I've been doing it for a long time. Part of me separate watching this performance, the audience, you looking at me trying to deliver to you. I noticed that I got that in the hand, I got that in the right. I can feel my feet on the ground. That reminds me, a guy that Chris Redondo and I know well, he said 4 years ago, he said, Chris, I'm making plenty of money, it's a bit of a shit fight, but I'm making heaps. He is making heaps. He said, but I'm totally stressed. I want only 2 things from coaching. I want to handle my stress, and I want to learn to let go of my baby. I'm a control freak. I said, great. I said, well, this is what you do. I said, you've got a drive. His driveway is nearly 100 metres long. Got a big property, 75 metres to 100 metres long. I said, when you go down the driveway to collect your mail, do you notice your feet touching the ground? He said, what are you talking about? Do you notice that each foot touching the ground? Never done it. Never thought about it. Why would I? I said because you're, should I say it? I will say it. Because you're a mind fucker. You're always thinking all the time. You're not giving yourself any space for relaxation, and your little daughter is totally stressed. Now go to the driveway now. We walk down together to get the mail. Feel your feet on the ground. He rang me that night, he said, we've got the whole family doing it. The wife's doing it. The wife's doing it. I've told my father, my mother. They're ethnics, right? And I love them. But you know, imagine ethnics responding to you've got to feel your feet on the ground, right? What are you talking about? Anyhow, it is great. Can you feel your feet on the ground now? Yeah. Had you felt your feet on the ground while I'm talking?
Yeah, when you mentioned it.
Yeah, but not before. So feet on the ground. Consciousness in the body, not just up here. So the wise owl, remember the wise owl, you're in a stressful situation. The clients are doing something not nice, or they're doing something. You just watch. What's going on? Oh, I'm a bit stressed. To make it clearer, you can say 3 times, stress, stress, stress. Or if you get really, really angry, which I know none of you ever get.
Why look at me for?
You can say anger, anger, anger. Now what does that do? That's like the wise owl. You are creating a distance from the mechanism that's feeling that stuff. Yeah? You're creating a distance. Okay, so Lana goes biking. I don't know, did you do it in the snow, Lana?
Yeah.
Not yet, so that'll be on her list now. You can do that. You can exercise, right? You can chill out. Now that's not so easy to do, because then you're going to start thinking, you know, right? You just chill out. Lie down and look at the sky, look at the clouds. Anyone ever done that? Yeah, great. Yeah, just like how long did you do? See, women, any guys? No, of course they didn't do it. But do it. Do it, great, it's great. Lie down, just look at the clouds. How long can I do that for? Then until the mind starts spinning. But pay attention, the clouds are incredible. It's an incredibly relaxing thing to do. Oh, I don't have time to do that. Okay, well then you're in trouble. Because you've got to do something to break the circuit, right? How am I going? Am I making any sense at all? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Good, good. So exercise is one good thing. That's one component, right? How relaxed are they? I got 2 cats. I had so many animals once upon a time, I swore, no more animals, thank you. But anyhow, now I've got 2 cats, right? Yeah. They say never let a cat or a woman into your house, because that's the end of it. I can agree. Well, once upon a time, years ago, when I was married, God bless her, and beautiful woman, we still even talk together lovingly. She had 1 horse, 1 dog, and I had 1 dog. I had a Doberman, she had a racehorse she rode, she was a good rider. You would have been proud of her, Emma. Anyhow, we ended up collecting 40 horses, 50 cats, a couple of pigs, chooks and all that stuff. That was her meditation, but not such a great meditation, because you've got to feed them all the time and you can't go anywhere. Can awareness help? Yes. So it can help because you watch the screen of the mind, the thoughts on the screen of the mind. Now, you maybe never, has anyone ever spoken like this before? To any of you? No? Yeah. So you watch the screen of the mind. You see the thoughts going on it. And when you get good at it, you can see the gaps between the thoughts. The easiest way first is to just watch the body. In your, whatever, business at home, just to watch the body movements. Watch what you're doing, watch what you're doing with the body, watch how you go. And that awareness helps you relax. When do you start doing it? Today. You watch yourself. No, nothing wrong with that. But watching yourself do that. You're watching yourself there. I'm watching. No judgment. No judgment. Judgment's where we all get hooked up. We judge everyone, we judge each other, we judge ourselves worst of all. So can awareness help? Yes, of course. Awareness while walking. So that's what I did with that guy. Aware of the feet touching the ground. It's not so easy to think, actually, when you're doing that. Because the awareness goes down there, so the thoughts not so much. More thoughts, less awareness, more awareness, less thoughts, more awareness, more relaxation. Okay? Awareness through skiing. Awareness through swimming. Awareness while you're doing anything. Awareness while thinking. Awareness while thinking is the second level. Body awareness is the first level. And then when you get good at it, more proficient, awareness of your feelings coming. This is a great one. Now you can be aware of the anger. What do we often do with anger? We just dump it back on someone. That's not great. So we've learned over time, because everyone probably by now knows this, if someone says something to you and it's problematic, it's troublesome, it's annoying, it's irritating, wait 24 hours. Mr. Redondo's famous at this, because I sent him this how many years ago now? You use this all the time? All the time. He won't do anything for 24 hours in response to like a challenging or tricky situation. And it's not easy either, because you want to maybe punch someone's face in or something, do something. Oh no, we don't want to punch anyone's face in, do we? Do we, Grant? No, no, not at all. You can do that, but as long as you do it with awareness, right? What am I doing here? Awareness, see? I wasn't aware when I walked into it. That's because of my eyes, right? So, awareness while thinking. So thinking is the second level. So the body awareness is the first and easiest. So you can practice watching the breath at the belly is one way. Belly bigger expanse. You can watch the breath at the nostrils. That's the Indian way. But the breath at the belly is the Zen way. It's more China. There's more expanse. It's easier. So body awareness first, mental awareness or mind awareness second, emotional awareness third. And then then at some point you can do it all together. And when you get really good at it, you can detect the anger coming before it's come. You can detect the jealousy coming before it's come. You can detect everything before it's come. That's the tail. You see the trunk of the elephant coming around the corner before the elephant has come. But you start where we are. There's a meditation or awareness. It's a lifelong journey. So there's no one's any better than anyone. It's just like you have more practice, but it's like it's an immediate thing. It's not, it doesn't take years. Awareness while feeling. So the body we saw, the thinking, and the feeling is deeper. That's deeper and also strong. It can be very, very rattling, right? Because then we have to deal with the feelings. That's an hierarchy. I won't go into it now, but basically that's the awareness hierarchy. It all comes from Buddha, by the way, and before him, so we're talking 2,500 years. All this stuff came around the 70s with the growth movement, in fact. People are still slow to catch on, but they're leading busy lives, So the awareness hierarchy, so rather than that, it turned into the body, what they call the body scan, which is basically you can lie down sometimes You can start from your head, take awareness to your head, the back of your neck, shoulders, back of there, front, go down the whole body. Just do a body scan on yourself, and that awareness relaxes you. Now, retrieving energy, right? We all put a lot of energy out in the day. And who was it? Yeah, it's said the other day. Yeah. He had such a busy day, Jorge, didn't you? Busy, busy, busy. Back-to-back meetings. And at the end of the day, difficult to keep the energy high, right? Because all this energy is going out. So different ways to retrieve it. Exercise. Can you read it from there? Exercise during the day, relax your behaviour, relax your acts. ACTS. Walk in a relaxed way. Eat in a relaxed way. Talk in a relaxed way. I went to the pub last night and had dinner just across the road. And I had fish and chips and a glass of wine. I noticed that I was eating a little bit quickly. And I thought, what are you eating quickly for, you idiot? And there I was. I said, you know, all these years of meditation, you're just a dumb... That was it. So I slowed down. Thank God for that. So it's awareness. So at any point, you can be dumb as anything, and the next minute you can be a Buddha. Maybe a little bit later during the day, I'll tell you how dumb I was recently. Really dumb. How am I going? Nearly there. I better move along. Okay, yes. This is a great one. If you're game, you might be walking down the street, unplugging, 3 minutes. You do it how many times a day? As many times as you like, but say 30 seconds a time, maybe 6 times, maybe. Even once is good. You might be walking down the street, Pitt Street, down there, anywhere, wherever, and you just stop. Immediately you just stop. Close your eyes. I did it the other day and someone walked into me. They said, you stupid person, what are you doing that for? But you're just walking. You're just walking along. So they just stopped. It's a sudden jerk. So when you do that, you've tricked the mind. It's too quick. The awareness has come in and you've tricked the mind. Boom, you've stopped. And in that stop, there's a gap. And in that gap, there's silence. I know I'm talking a whole lot of stuff, and Christina knows I'm weird, but she's still here. She's still here. But the thing is that it's existentially true. It's accurate. It's proven over thousands of years. And for me, it's saved my life, basically. Because the stress can kill you. So that's the technique. You can do it through archery. Over in India, they do this, where we went. The aim is not to hit the target. What's the aim?
Breathe.
Eh?
Breathe.
No, the aim is to hit yourself. People say, I'm a bit bored on this and that. I just said to you, I say, you're not present in your life. You're not here right now. You're here right now. But they're not here. I said, you're thinking, you're over there thinking of something, you're not here. Existence needs your presence, which is great, but it means every moment of the day, today, you be aware. This is your life. You've given time to come here. This is incredible to begin with. I applaud you for that. But to be present in your life. People say, I'm bored. I said, yeah, you're bored with yourself. So a few tips for awareness. Tune into your breath as one. Be aware of your surroundings. Use that as a circuit breaker. Sit on the chair, get off the computer, sit on the chair. Just break the routine a little bit. I notice when I'm on the computer, I've got not a bad chair. I don't know whether it could be better or not. I don't want to use those circular things. But sometimes we hunch, yeah? And sometimes I notice even when I'm standing, I'm sometimes slouch a bit. I'm not a sloucher, but sometimes I'll just slouch. That's stress. That produces stress. Better to be, standing like that. But so we all do these things with our body, because of our unawareness. I'm not going to single anyone out here, but probably the one who laughed most. Yeah, get ready. That long list you've got of all the stuff, do something with it. You can have a bucket list if you want, but do something with the list. Make it happen, faster or get rid of, dump some of it. But to-do lists are very stressful. How many of you, not counting the person I was talking about, have a long to-do list? Yeah, look at you, that little hand there. Long, yeah, it's a lot, quite a few. So that to-do list we've got to do something with, yeah? Something meaningful, because it is a stress on us. Use your lunch as mindful practice, yeah. I'm going to stop now. Google's approach. Google have introduced the whole program for awareness, meditation. They introduce it all through their branches everywhere. All through everything. Now these are guys who've made, billions, and they've seen what meditation awareness did for them, and they've introduced it to their thousands of Google employees. They're so far ahead of the game. So far ahead. And Google have had some incredible breakthroughs. And they attribute the breakthroughs to relaxation, chill down time. Going forward, so that's generally where we are in business. Does that make sense? We're generally a little bit like that, aren't we? At whatever stage we're at, remember that the stress is not the other person. The stress is not the situation. The stress is in here. So often when I hear people talk about it, I let them talk. I don't want to be always, correcting. It's not nice. But at some point when I feel they might be in a bit of trouble, I just say, listen, the reality is you're stressed. You need to do something about it. It's not your husband, it's not your girlfriend, it's not your boyfriend, it's not your animals, it's not the money in the bank, it's not the lack of money in the bank. Oh shit, I can't pay the wages this week. We've all been in that situation. I have anyhow. Can't pay the wages at some point. It's all in here, and you've got to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, then it's going to be chronic, and if it's chronic, we know what happens.